you for joining us this evening. It's not been the most pleasant of days, has it? So it's lovely to see you all here with us. And it's lovely to see all of you watching online as well. Lots of you there. Hi, Maya and Debs and Judy. Right, okay, so we will start the service then by welcoming our lovely mediums for this evening. In church, we've been joined by our good friend Lainey Bain. Welcome.
Evening, everyone. Hi.
And our good friend Martin Quigley joins us online. So Martin will join you with Rob a little bit later on. I will hand over to Lainey though to open this service in prayer, and this will be followed by the Lord's Prayer that we will all say together. Over to you.
Thank you, Hannah. Good evening, everyone. If you'd like to get into your quiet place within, and those online, hi guys. Divine Source, Guide, Spirit, friends and loved ones, thank you for bringing us all here together this evening. I ask that you surround each and every one of us of your beautiful golden light of healing love and protection. And I respectfully ask that you endeavour to work with myself and Martin as we endeavour to bring those messages through from those in the spirit world to those here on the earth plane. Everything we do is with love. Amen.
Amen.
Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you, Lainey.
Okay, so I will now light the church candle. For those of you watching at home, feel free to do the same. As we do this, we just think of our loved ones in spirit, and if you want them to draw close, then just use this opportunity now just to invite them in your minds. Invite them close to give you lots of comfort. Lovely. Okay, and now we will go into the healing part of the service. So we're going to remain in that beautiful still place that we've got within. Just take a couple of deep breaths if you can, and just try to clear your mind of those everyday thoughts that always seem to be there. So we go into that lovely space to send out that healing energy. I always ask you to focus on the word love, because love is healing. And as you think of those positive thoughts, the word love, you're sending that out to the world. And love is healing, as I just said. So just think about that beautiful healing light. Think of that golden light building up around you, building up around your heart centre. So we go into the choir and we think about all those that need healing tonight. Just imagine that pouring out from your heart into their energy, wherever they are. It might be across the other side of the world. It will still reach them. So if you haven't already put the names in for healing online, please do so now. So we'll read the names from our church healing book, and then we will offer a healing prayer. So tonight, we place in God's care all those that we come to name and to think about now. We ask for healing to go out to Diane, to Glynis, Fleur, Tony, Debbie, Julie, Bill, Sharon, Kelly, Leon, Joanne, Gillian, Georgina, Emily, Linda, Jamie's mum, Melanie, Gillian S, John S, Jenny, David, Sonic the Bird, Karen, Greta, Mark, Rebecca, Pat, Gwenda, Gillian S, John S, Darren, Claire, Talia, Andrea, Tanya, Linda, Anne, Lorraine, Heather, Veronica, Joan, Cyril, Terry, Colin, Kelly, Annabelle and Bobby, Linda Weeks, Alison Lay, Caroline and family, Erica and Rosemary, Philomena, Linda, Phil, Dee and David Hunt, Adrian, Jackie and Roger, Martina, Sarah and Poppy, Marie, Lucy, Karen, Jeffrey, Victoria, Karen's cats, the Lakey family, and Lorraine Smith. So please just join with me in healing prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, I ask you to join us as we gather together tonight in church and from our own homes online. Help us to connect to that beautiful love light that sits within each of us as we send that beautiful healing energy out to all those that we've just named, and also to all those that we think privately of in our thoughts now. We ask them to be surrounded by your beautiful healing light. We ask that they may feel it and feel comforted by it. Whatever their need may be, we ask that it helps them in some way. And of course, we ask for any extra healing energy that we've generated together tonight to go out to all those that are suffering around the world, all those that are affected by conflict and war, suffering in their mind, body, or soul. And of course, we ask you to surround our beautiful animal kingdom, the world of nature, Mother Earth. And as always, dear Father, I ask that all people of this world, all countries of this world, that they begin to unite in peace and in love, and know that that really is the only way forward. And as always, I ask you to bless all of those joining in with this healing prayer tonight. We ask that they too receive your love. We ask all of this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. So just sit for another minute. Continue to send that energy out. Think of your loved ones. This will be broken by the hymn Gracious Spirit. It's in the front of your hymn book. Thank you. they? Beautiful words in that we just sang. Really like to sit and think about that sometimes. We just sing it, we know it really well, don't we? Just sing it off the cuff, but beautiful, beautiful words. And I will hand over to another person that's got some, I'm sure, beautiful words to share with us tonight. So hand over to Peter for his Bible reading. Looking lovely and bright, Peter. I like it. Lovely and bright. I like that colour.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Evening all,
Evening.
and evening to those online, and welcome. Tonight's reading is from John chapter 8. In tonight's reading, Jesus does not judge us, but expects us to judge ourselves. In the spiritual aspect, we cannot judge or condemn others, as we do not know all the facts, but we do know when we are doing wrong. For tonight's reading, I've chosen the Gospel of St. John. We see throughout the reading two distinct lines of thought. We see Jesus speaking always from the spiritual aspect, where the Jews are taking the earthly point of view. The Testament of St. John is about the life of Jesus on earth, and the people were often trying to trap him into something they could accuse him of, to discredit him, to bring action against him. Of course, they always did, and they always will fail. Like all the scriptures, there are important messages that bring understanding. Like I've expressed on other readings, it always comes back to understanding the way of life, God's way. This again demonstrates Christ's gentle, compassionate spirit. We see the loving and the true Son of God. Teachers of the law and the Pharisees brought a woman caught in adultery before him and claimed maximum judgment under the law of Moses. Today, we call it the law of the people, meant to control a standard of living with penalties for breaking these codes of law. But God's law is a greater law, covering all others in the power of love. As the story unrolls, Jesus will not judge the woman or give the accusers credence to their claims. We are told many times in the scriptures that we should not judge, as we may not know all the circumstances. Speaking spiritually now, Jesus neither condemned the condemners nor condemned, but set in motion certain spiritual forces which awaken consciousness in both accusers and accused. How many of us could do that? God has planted in the soul with which, when stimulated through our conscience, reveals the soul's errors to itself. How many of us have experienced this within ourselves? In the spiritual world, it is the outworking of the law of karma. The soul is its own accuser, and we just know when it is us ourselves that were wrong. Jesus knows the woman has sinned and knows true remorse, so it can be deep and so poignant that the soul needs no further judgment, only the healing balm of love and Jesus' teaching by his own actions. Tonight's reading, St. John chapter 8. But Jesus went to the mountain of Olives. At dawn he appeared again in the temple courts, where all the people gathered around him, and he sat down to teach them. The teacher of the law and the Pharisees brought in a woman caught in adultery. They made her stand before the group and said to Jesus, "Teacher, This woman was caught in the act of adultery. In the law of Moses, condemned us to stone such a woman. Now what do you say? They were using this question as a trap in order to have a basis of accusing him. But Jesus bent down and started to write on the ground with his finger. When they kept on questioning me, straightened up and said to them, "Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." Again, he stooped down and wrote on the ground. At this, those who heard began to go away one at a time, the older ones first, until only Jesus was left with the woman standing there. Jesus straightened up and asked her, "Woman, where are they? Have no one condemned you?" "No one, sir," she said. "Then neither do I condemn you," Jesus declared. "Now go and live your life free of sin." God bless that reading. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Right, okay, so we will say goodbye to everybody watching online at this point. Hope you have a lovely service. I'm sure you will, with Martin and Rob. So hand over to Martin and say goodbye from all of us here at church. And we will go into our next song this evening, which is number 8.
Good evening, guys. Nice to be back in front of you, Thundersley online crowd. I hope you're all well. An address this evening. Hi, Sarah Ann. Hi to you all. Hi, Debs. So what I'm thinking about tonight, talking and waffling on as I usually do, was different sectors of life and the afterlife, really. Now, most of you that are watching are regulars. Most of you have had either spiritual experiences or know full well that the spirit world and God truly exists. Otherwise, we wouldn't be wasting our time with what we do and devoting our Sunday evenings to the spirit side of life and our friends and family that have crossed over before us. So during our normal working weeks, daily lives, we all go in that mode where we zoom out and we, I suppose, go within ourselves in our own little world, and we think about things. One of the things that came up this week was someone I must research more of it, and I don't know much on this, I just know it's factual, is how when we're born and we're young and we come from spirit and we're born to our parents, everything is so slow. You know, you want to get to be able to have your first bike. You've got stabilizers. You want to be big enough to and good enough to get rid of these stabilizers. You know, you want to be able to go to bigger school. You want to be able to leave school, take driving lessons, go to the pub, meet girls or boys. There's all this waiting when you're young. And it does, you know, feel when you're in that position that we're in this big drag. However, although it feels like yesterday that I was starting work, which I've just started my 36th year, and I've now turned 51, I can't believe how I've got here. And I imagine you guys all think the same. You think, blimey, how have I been turned to this age? And there was a term this week, and I've heard it quite a few times in the past, and apparently it's actually factual, that how the older we get, the quicker we get, and the term for it is the quickening. So I must research the quickening, because I certainly know it's, happy 36 there. God bless, happy birthday. Hold on to them, because the next load are coming rapid. So yeah, the quickening. And then when we get to end of life, I often think of this and what I get from spirit at times. We all have our own beliefs and what we think is going to happen, and probably many of us are in agreement that when this physical body fails us, or should I say, we're all actors in the show, when the script writers take us out of this show and we cross over and see all our loved ones again. And then our life's replayed to us for all the major points, everything that we came down to do, I believe. How did we handle that situation? Did we treat ourselves well? Do we worry too hard on ourselves? And how do we treat others? A major one. And whenever I listen to Peter do his reading, there's always one or two things that stick out in that reading. And for me this evening it was, we all know when we're doing wrong. And all of us have done wrong in life. But as long as we learn from it and we know it's wrong and we try to do as best we can. So, yeah, I truly believe from the spiritual aspect and us crossing over that when we meet all our animal loved ones and our friends and family the other side, that everything will be revealed, everything that we've done in life will make sense. I don't think there's anything that won't. But the one I wanted to really address this evening in some small kind of way was, what about just before we're born again, or just before we're born? So many people have different views on this, but my belief is I've lived many, many, many lifetimes and served most of you, all of you. And I truly believe, as a congregation of spirit and part of the God power, that we come down many times at a point of our choosing, discussion with spirit, and then what we need. Because it makes real sense if you look at it. So if any of you are up there and you're waiting to come back down, and there's certain aspects of the human self that you've not encountered before, I truly believe that yourself and spirit will make the show, the path, your life path, open up at some point during your life on the earth plane, that you can encounter what you desire for your spiritual self. And I think we're fully equipped in life for what we're designed to endure, what we're designed to have. If you look at all your family, your friends, every single person's different. Every single person's different. Look at, for example, my dad was very good with numbers, and so am I. No calculator needed. But there's a lot of things I'm not that good at, and my dad certainly wasn't. So before we're born, I think we get some sort of, I don't know if it's like, I know there's a lot of women on here, not so many men, but there's the computer game called FIFA. It's a football game. And I know that before you start that, you can create your own player. And by creating your own player on there, you get a certain amount of points you can spend on different aspects of that person, whether it be strength, agility, speed, thinking, whatever it is. And I think that we all have something like that. And we look at what life we're going to have, because you've got children that are born to this world with fantastic abilities. And I guarantee that every single one of you online this evening is really, really strong in many areas and weaker in others. And that is the way it goes. But I do find myself thinking about many, many times where how we are so different. And if we were all the same and there was no good and bad, how could we really, really learn? So I think this earth plane is far, far older than it's led to believe. And I think it's been a playground for us spirit beings coming down in the human form for, I don't know, infinity. You often get things in the paper where they find like an old axe head or bullets that were so far down, they might have been around 50,000 years ago, but they weren't created until a couple of hundred years ago. So whether there's truth in that, I truly believe that this is just a playground for us guys. And we do know when we're doing wrong. And the the one thing I know, we're not meant to know every single thing, certainly not. And we all keep the faith and the understanding that one day our loved ones that hopefully are going to join us this evening will be right next to them once again. So yeah, that was what I wanted to share. And there's another little bit as well on the spiritual side. I mean, I've got so many experiences with the spirit side of life. I'd like to leave you with this one, and I know that I've worked for you guys over the last 5-6 years online quite a bit since COVID. And I don't know, sometimes I repeat myself. I'm 51 now, so give us a break. But one of the ones I like to share, and I've shared it a few demonstrations recently, it's quite powerful for me, just how certain things happen in life and then they come back to you. So I'll leave you with this one. When I was a child, we all had, toys and heroes on the TV that we all loved, whoever it be. And for me, there was many as a young boy. And one of them at the time was a certain Rod Hull and Emu. And many of you remember Emu that Rod Hull had. Anyway, I think probably 90% of you remember him. And I had Emu. My mum and my sisters, one of them, had bought me this full-blown emu that I put my arm in, my right arm here. And I'd chase my sisters and my mum and annoy them by pecking them, just as Rod Hull would do. Deb's, you're the emu puppet. I absolutely loved it. Jacqueline, yeah, you loved him. So I just want to tell you a brief story about this man. And we know that some of these kids' entertainers over the years are not all they're cracked up to be or worse. But he did seem a really, really nice guy, Rod Hull. So anyway, I was very young, probably 3, 4, 5 years old. I was born in 73. I'm a Gemini, born in June. And I used to annoy the hell out of my mum and everyone else with this emu. Yeah, he did. He fell through the roof, bless him. So the story goes, I was at a nursery and infant school in Stevenage, where I still live today, and it's called Pear Tree Nursery. And at this school, it must have been somewhere around the springtime, it was announced that the summer fete, the big party for all the kids and teachers at the end of the year, was going to happen, and that the main attraction and star was Rod Hull and Emu. So the excitement for me was just out of this world, annoying my mum and probably everyone else constantly. So I'll never forget it. There was this big build up to the day, and maybe a month from it being announced probably seemed like 2 years for me as a child that just wanted the day to happen. So I remember turning up, and it was just one of my sisters and my mum and me. And we were probably there a couple of hours before he came on, and we were going around whatever stalls were and whatever. I can't remember everything. I just remember certain powerful points in life. And anyway, they were bringing round a horse or a couple of horses beforehand, and it was probably an hour before he was due to come out. And my sister, still to this day, loves horses, so this horse, we got to see the horse, and we're all stroking him. And 10, 15, 20 minutes later, I got a severe reaction to something that was on this horse, and I went completely blind, and I mean completely blind, pure white, not even black speckles, completely pure white. And I had to be rushed to hospital, and I just remember big needles going to my bum as a little kid, and then eventually my eyesight came back. It probably seemed like days, but it was probably only 5 or 6 hours. And I missed him, and I was, forget going blind temporarily, everything else, I was absolutely a distraught, snivelling, probably really annoying little kid that I missed out on my childhood hero. So that was back then, and I was probably, I don't know, 5, 6 years old, something like that, 4 or 5 years old, totally distraught. So let's go back to probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I was at one of the local churches. I was serving as the medium. It was a Sunday evening, and I remember it was the penultimate reading of the night. And it was a good night. Every night's different as a medium. You can't guarantee nothing. Spirit come through stronger. Or the medium, should I say, in the evenings is more tuned in or not tuned in. And it was a really good night. And I just went to this lady, and I remember looking to the left of me. She was in the second row. I'll never forget it. Anyway, I brought her husband through. I think it was his name and loads of information. It was a wonderful, wonderful link of reading. More than enough with just what I gave her, without the icing on the cake at the end. And anyway, so her husband said his piece, and I felt her husband moving away, and spirit normally just stand all cue to my right. And I felt her husband moving away, walking away. And just as I was about to say to her, by the way, I'm going to leave your husband's love this evening, I looked to the left, and he was joined by someone else. And as mediums, especially in the early days, and I still do it to myself now, I can be my own worst enemy. We question things. We get shown stuff, we hear stuff from the spirit, and we question it. And we as mediums don't know anything really. The spirit will have everything, and we're just that channel to push the information through. So anyway, her husband walked away. And as he's walking away, I saw this other gentleman there, just in my mind's eye, not objectively, but in my mind's eye. And all of a sudden, I looked and I thought, no way, I must be going crazy. And I thought to myself, no, I've messed up a load of times by questioning. And I looked at her, I said, look, this is really, really strange, Stephen. I said, I know your husband's just leaving. I said, but there's another gentleman just joined me right as he's walking out. And I said, this gentleman was my, it gives me the goosebumps and emotional now thinking of it. This gentleman was my childhood hero. I said, I can't believe it. I said, I don't know why I'm getting it. I said, but your husband's leaving, and I've got Rod Hull, as in Rod Hull and Emu, that has just joined him. And as I looked at her thinking, she's just going to laugh and say, I don't know why you got that, her face changed, and she said to me, she goes, Martin, she goes, I can't thank you enough. She said, that's the best bit of information I've ever heard. She said, Rod Hull was my husband's best friend. And to this day, I'm like, crikey. Some nights as a medium, you don't do that well, your mind's not settled and whatever else. All mediums will understand. A bit like we wake up in the morning, some days everything goes right for you guys, and other days you're having this nightmare of a day. But trust in spirit, and that evening, I'll never forget it. From child to in the church as a working medium, there he was. So yeah, I thought I'd share that story. I'll never forget it. Absolutely magical. It was a wonderful reading all along, but that was the double icing on the cake. Still gets to me to this day. It was that powerful. So yeah, best friends in life, as you will all be reunited with your loved ones. Anyway, I'm going to have a sip of drink, and then we're going to see how the evening's going to go with your loved ones. So work with me, guys. Always a pleasure, and we'll see where we go. Yeah. I can be an hard-faced bugger at times, mate. But certain stuff like that, you think, crikey, that's magical, powerful. And yeah, I think we should share them. And you guys that are here this evening, I know you're only typing there, but I think we should share everything in life, the powerful stuff, with people we meet, friends, even if some of them, or a lot of them, think you're a grandpa. And I've been accused of it a few times, but we can't, as the saying goes, you can't take a horse to water and force it to drink. Same as many people on their life path, the spirit world, for them, unlike most of us. So everyone's blessed. But if you have the spiritual understanding, I think we're even more. And by sharing our stories, hopefully we can open the eyes of many, many more along their life's journey. Okay. Let's see where we're going to go. this is weird. I keep hearing the name Frank. I know there's Frank in church. He's a lovely name. I really like Frank. But this is Frank, and I'm just seeing this gentleman. He's on like it looks like it's dark and it feels like cobbled streets. And it's really weird, and I feel like I'm walking down these cobbled streets, and it feels almost like a dream. Does anyone know? And it feels like I've got a father here to someone in the room this evening, and sometimes I can be wrong with a relationship, but I know it's connected to father. It feels like connected to father, and I think Frank's connected to father as well in some way or form. And I just feel that one of you has had this some sort of dream where, and I know you can have, what do you call them? Visitation dreams when you're asleep, and it's actually our loved ones that join us. And quite often, when you wake up from these, it feels really real. You feel really tired after it. But I'm just seeing this sort of vision of this man walking down, and then it feels like I'm meeting or greeting someone further down the road there. It's almost like I'm in a painting or picture. It's really, really odd. What else have we got? And someone's on about Alf or Alfie. I'm not sure if this is a dog. I think there's some sort of like dog in there as well, like a little smallish to medium dog. I'm not sure, it's like a Westie or something like that. I'm waffling on here, but I don't know where I'm going. And something to do with Tina. Does anyone understand any of that gobbledygook this evening? So it's really weird. I'd like to have a visitation or something there. Whoa, Jacqueline. I was watching a movie framework. She's got Freddie Mercury. Oh, isn't that fantastic, Jacqueline? Isn't that lovely? Thanks for sharing that, Jacqueline. Powerful. Steve Ringrose, normally what I do if I'm in church, I can come to you and ask who you want and whatever else. Online, I just normally go who's in the room next to me, and then we'll go there. So Rebecca, yes, my granddad was like dad to me. His brother, mum's uncle is Frank. I often see granddad in dreams. I can take the cobbled street. Okay. Oh, Kelly Chambers. Yeah, I saw this dog, and it was someone said Alfie like that. Come on, get it together. And you can take the small dog in spirit. Right. I'll just ask for a bit more. So, Rebecca or Kelly, can you take something to do with August significant for either of you? I'm just trying to get it split now. Something significant for August. Rebecca or Kelly? Okay, Kelly. Perfect. Rebecca, stay with us, but I'll work with Kelly. And Alfie, is what I heard them say about the dog as well. So perfect, Kelly. And August is your mum's 60th birthday. How wonderful. So, right, Kelly. Can you take the Frank at all, Kelly? I know that Rebecca could, and I know that the Alpha's there. Can you take Frank link to father? And I'm getting the sensation as well, something to do. It's almost like it was shown to me like the dog, Kelly. Do you remember your dog like falling over, like it lost its legs? Does that make sense? Like it was on ice skates. Does that make sense? Like falling over, falling down, legs starting to go before passing. Does that make sense at all, Kelly? Can you check that at all, Kelly? because as I see the dog, it's like his legs give way, and I just feel like all of a sudden they've given away like he was on ice skates, and that's what I was given. Okay, right, let's see what we've got then. Kelly, can you take this at the moment? Someone said it's like a jungle out there for you at the moment, and from that, what I'm taking is life's quite stressful. There's a lot of obstacles in your way. It feels like you're trying to get to a destination, and there's bits and pieces coming for you and stopping you at times. You know, lots of bumps in the road currently. He used to chase a ball and couldn't run on the floor. Oh, bless him. Bless him. I just know that this little Alfie's made himself aware. So if you've not heard that he's passed the spirit successfully, he's just letting you know now that he did pass successfully, and he's all good and well. And it's lovely that they come through from time to time, the animal side of life as well, because they're just as important as our loved ones, because they are family. Kelly, can you take that at the moment of your life? Right, okay. I just know that what Spirit have given me is like everything's in your way. There's just certain obstacles coming in. Eight, 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 eight. Is one of your kids 8, Kelly? How old's your youngest one? Can I just ask that? There's something significant with 8 they're on about for me now. That makes sense to you. Something to do with 8. Okay. Okay, perfect. So your youngest is 7, and they're on about 8. So within your spiritual work, just hang in there, because what I'm getting is that so give it another year's time, 12 months. 8, 11 months and 3-year-old, right. Something to do with the 8. Okay. Doesn't make sense for it to be that long. Okay, Kelly, I think that, you know, when you start a motorbike up, and it's weird, some of the stuff they give me, but just go with it. When you start a motorbike up and you rev the engine, but you're not actually turning the wheels, this is how I feel like it's for you with your spiritual side. I believe the keys are in ignition, you've started the process up, but you're not allowed to take your stabilizers off or ride the bike by yourself yet. If that makes any sense whatsoever. But I fully believe that you're on the vehicle, and that time allowing, and I believe there's a significance when your 7-year-old will turn 8. So within sort of like 12 months, things should get a bit more traction for you. Okay, I see the wheel spinning now, this rear wheel smoking. But just don't try to go until you've got the green light, if that makes sense. What a load of our waffle, but that's what I'm seeing. I know it's hard. It's a bit like what I said in the address earlier, how when we're young, we want to be older to be able to do everything as we can, and you want to be in a position to run and move forward with your spiritual work. Okay. Yeah. I'll say it as it is. I'm just also hearing, Kelly, that the 7-year-old, I've got a gentleman here that's on about trying to give him a little bit more time and attention currently. Because I know that you'll be obviously swimming in attention for the 11-month and the younger one, but it just feels like what they're giving to me is to make a little bit more for the 7-year-old, because I feel that even though they're not maybe showing it, they want a bit more attention from you. God bless you, Kelly, because it ain't easy with what you've got to do with 3 of them. Right, I do believe you're going to get traction. I think it's all going to work out for you. If I can give you anything, it's trust the process, believe in yourself, and you will be having big battles with yourself in time, because it's ourselves that we struggle with, and we double question everything, trying to give more attention. Bless her. Yeah, I just feel that's what Spirit want to do. Is just, not that you would. I'm not saying you would, but it just feels like there's this little jab now to pay a little bit closer attention. Just give her a little bit, and maybe extra 10%. We'll put that more, happiness in her, and going from there. Is there something to do with April for you as well, Kelly? April, that makes sense. And they're giving me the snakes and ladders board for you as well. And I get that at times when, you've already confirmed it, when you're going up a ladder and getting somewhere, and then you're falling back down, and you're, going forward 2 steps, and you're being pulled back 1.5. Yes, yes. Something to do with April, Kelly. Yeah. Right. I don't know if I'm moving on to the next link or not, but I know I'm being shown like Wales and Mount Snowdon. So I'm not sure if there's some sort of bucket list thing, Kelly, that you want to do, like the 3 peaks or whatever it is, or climb one of these things and do it for yourself to test yourself. I don't know if that makes sense, or we're moving on. And there's something to do with Roy, so it could be you can't take it, but we're moving on then, Kelly. So something to do with Roy and like Wales and Mount Snowdon and stuff like that. So I'm being taken to. And if you can't take that, Kelly, then maybe I'm moving on. Okay. You're a horse. What, in Wales? Is that what you mean? And Wales have a horse there. Okay. I just know that this gentleman is on about that for you there. Normally I'm really good with names. It sounded like Roy, so maybe Roger. I don't like to take them if they're that far off there. Mum has had a horse who's got a Wales. Okay. Fantastic, Kelly. I think the moral of the story for you this evening is that Spirit are just trying to say to you, hang in there, rev your engine, don't set off yet. You can do many bits with it in between, Kelly. Meditation in your quiet time, 11-month-old, good luck with that. But you can, and I wish you well. And it's a long, long road working with Spirit, but it's very rewarding. Thick skin needed. But yeah, best of luck and thanks for working on me. Roger had a brother called Roy. Okay, he's Spirit side of life. That's perfect. That's right. Yeah, you're welcome, Kelly. Thanks for working on me. Well, Roy's there anyway because I could hear that. Okay, let's see where we're going to go now. Right. Oh, okay. That's strange. So I've got a lady that's trying to join me now, and I think she's related to Mum. So I'm not sure it's aunt or whatever else in now. But I just got a note lady in now, and she was on about that she had, is it alopecia, where her hair was falling out in certain areas. I'm also seeing quite floral stuff with her, quite floral like clothes and bedding or wallpaper. It just feels like there would be aspects of being floral around this woman. She's on that life going a full circle, a full circle. I don't know what you mean by a full circle, darling. I really don't. Okay. Right. What I'm getting from her is that whether you'd understand this or not, that she was fairly sickly as a child, then lived her life, and then she was fairly sickly, came down before passing with an illness. And I know that the alopecia was there as well with this lady, because I know that that was really upsetting for her, struggling with her hair and losing her hair, which would be bad for us all. So who else have we got? All right, darling. I know there's connections to May, so whether the name May is relevant or not, but I know there's connections to May with this lady. I know there's the alopecia stuff to do with the hair, and I feel like there's this going full circle, like as a child, and then fine, and then things coming back later in life. And I believe there's a boy in the family or someone in the family. She's on about that's quite a good athlete, quite a good runner, or had been a good runner, because she's on about this boy in the family. So that's what I'm getting at the moment. Who am I? Sounds like my mum's sister. Mum is May. Jacqueline. Sometimes I get I'm going crazy. I really do doing this, sitting in front of the keyboard, talking to you guys. Jacqueline. Good evening. So mum's sister's spirit side of life. Your mum is May. Would you understand with the alopecia or something to do with her hair? Or would you understand that what she's given me to do is like being quite sickly as a child? Something to do with a child being sick and then coming like full circle, and then she coming down ill later in life, and then having this. Can I work with Jacqueline, because the name May is there as well? Okay. I'll work with Jacqueline because it does feel right. We'll go there. Dee Hunter's my sister, and she'll have it too. Oh, what they have the problem with the hair? Does that make sense? Because I know that when they're all about full circle going round, I feel I'm childlike, something to do with when young, and then older as well. And I know it's alopecia as well, so nice sit there. Right, okay. Let's get a grip to this, good guys. So you two are sisters. Oh, that's awful, isn't it? Okay. So you can take your mum's sister, the spirit side of life, as well. Does that make sense, as we said earlier, Jacqueline? Mum's sister there, your mum's May. Come on. Where are we going? I just know I've got mum's sister here, so it feels like there's a lady here that's on about all this information. Is there like 7 of you guys? Like 7? Hi, Mo. Hi, Mo. Is there 7 of you? Because we're on about the Magnificent 7. She's on about the Magnificent 7. And, I know there's the cowboy film, but she's quite happy to be introducing her Magnificent 7 part of the family. So there is 7 of you. Perfect. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. 7 hour family, I think. Okay. Mum's sister was very sick in front. Yeah. That's how I saw her there, and then crikey, you guys have got the alopecia as well. Okay. Sorry, Mo, it is definitely with Jacqueline. There's a lot in there. Right. So Jacqueline, let's see what you're on talking about here now. Do you know Tony as well? Is there a Tony connected with any of you guys? Has it just gone about Tony? Something to do with Tony. I nodded off. God, it must be that bad. Anyway, Mo, we haven't. It's her children. Okay. Do you know Tony? Great husband. Okay, I just know that she mentioned about Tony. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. I've also feel I've got a gentleman trying to build up next to me with this lady now with your aunt. And would you remember him? I feel like I want to sort of like hum away with music. And I'm sitting there in my own world. I just feel he's there as well. All suited and booted as well. I just see him, and I think he's got a hat on as well. That's what it feels like. So I'm not sure if you can take that with your aunt, meet your aunt and your mum. A gentleman that used to sing a little bit, maybe a little bit of a crooner, sing to himself. Hear him humming and being in his own world. That makes sense. That's fine. I don't think I said that. Yeah. Sorry, Martin, she got well in. That's good. Yeah, she did. Maybe that's why that she's mentioning Tony. Would you understand the gentleman used to hum along and sing along? Because she's on about this as well. Her son loved music and had to wear a wig. Maybe that's why I'm seeing him putting something on his head there. Okay, right. Let's get to this. Let me show you here. Would you guys remember being around her or something to do with carving out? I thought it was a watermelon, but it's probably a pumpkin. But carving out, like, I really thought it was a watermelon at first, with a knife and carving out stuff. So I know that we're going to go to like Halloween and the 31st of October, that period as well. So I think that's probably what she's trying to get into my mind is something to do with that time span for you guys. I just feel like I'm carving stuff out now, like, you know, taking chunks out of this watermelon or pumpkin, and there's something going on there. Her cousin, her son is now in spirit. Oh, bless. Okay. Does that make sense? Have any of you two got that memory? It's with her, but she's giving me a memory here of carving out stuff right there now. She used to have a go at that. But it's like, you know, pumpkins and whatever. And I know that Mum is May, Jacqueline, but would you understand why she's also going on about something significant in May, not just May being the name? So I'm not sure if you just had a celebration recently in May, but she's insistent on something about May as well, not just the name. That makes sense. Your aunt's on about it now. Mm. And would either of you have the pond in the garden? Because she's on about like the frog spawn and frogs in some sort of pond linked to one of the gardens in the family. May, our mum is 91 on the 13th of May. So she's May and she's born in May. Bless. I suppose that leaves a decision for her parents. What should we call her? Born in May? She's a May. Okay. Right. 30th of July. Right. Okay. So if you understand this now I'm in some sort of back garden here, and there's a pond, and there's problems with frogs running around and frog spawn, and maybe the pond was filled in because it caused so many problems to do with that. Right. I'm not sure which one of the pair of you is, Dee or Jacqueline. Have you heard of astral projection? Either the pair of you. I'm getting this, and I don't really get this in the past, but I know that I met people that have it, where you coming up next week. Oh, God bless her. All right, so just if you can relay to your mum that sister is wishing her a happy birthday for next week, and let's tell her she's not. She's laughing next to me now. She's laughing and say, "Please say I've not forgotten her," so that she knows that she's not forgotten you. Okay, that makes sense. Astral projection. So I just believe one of the two of you has had some sort of run-in with that, where you have these sort of like out-of-body experiences or float away, or you've had experiences like that, because they're on about that for one of the pair of you. Mine today, I had a pond. Right. Okay. Now, one of the two of you, your aunt's on about hanging in there, and I'm going to get to the crux of it. One of the two of you is going through a lot of shenanigans, a lot of stress in life, and I know there's this alopecia going on as well, but just hang in there. You know how life can be stagnant or go down and be have a lot of grief in it, but I feel there is this sort of like upward trajectory coming for you, and Spirit just want to let you know that things will improve. You're just going through one of these challenging periods that we all get at times, some more than others, unfortunately. So it's just really from Art here, a message of hope really for you guys to hang in there. What is that? Something about 16, sweet 16. So I don't know what that is. She's referencing about 16. I don't know, memories when you're 16. Jacqueline, my birthday today. I had a pun, yes, we wake up and stuff. Crikey, Jacqueline. Sweet 16, does that make sense to any of you? Sweet 16. Just hear something going on there now. Yeah, do you know what? From my experience, you know, we're all spiritual. Doesn't, you know, it gives us more understanding, and we can keep the faith because we know that there's far more to this existence. But we're still not immune from learning. And Jacqueline 16 means a lot to you. That's all right. Now, I've just got a gentleman here now that gave me the 16, sweet 16 or 16. So if you know what that means from him, then that's wonderful. I know that he's just joining to the side of me in the corner of the room there. But yeah, we're certainly not immune. But the problem is we come down here to learn, and without these tough times, God bless. Jacqueline, I just see him now blowing a kiss with his fingers to you, getting me to do it for you. And he's the one that I heard say, sweet 16. Never forget. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that lovely? All the way on the spiritual radio. Okay, I will tell her. Oh, that's lovely. All the way on the spiritual telephone, from just beside me in my bedroom, from me to you, he just says, I love you, babe. Yeah. And he's off now. He's said his little piece. Not sure if he was a man. Been sitting asking to find you. He came in afterwards, and I know that Aunt was here first. She was trying to get me going. Because believe me, at times it takes a lot to get me going. My mum used to say to me quite a lot, God, give me strength. But we try our best. And he feels a real nice, lovely energy, husband. And I know that he's still settling in over there. He's a little bit agitated because he still wants to be down here with you. But on this very strange radio, spiritual radio, I'm glad I heard him tell her sweet 16. And yeah, God bless the both of you. My thoughts out to all of you with what you're going through. Life ain't easy, guys. But we all try to help each other along the way. And thanks for working with me. And I'll say thanks to your aunt and your husband, Jacqueline, for coming through. And something about more chocolate. I don't know what that is. More chocolate as he's leaving. More chocolate, more chocolate. It's like, I don't know if he wants to hand chocolate out, more chocolate. I really don't know what he's on about. But it's like he's throwing Willy Wonka bars out or something there. Well, more chocolate, more chocolate. I don't know if that means any sort of sense at all. But God bless the pair of you and all of you. We're all in this together, guys. Oh, that's me. He always bought it for you. Well, he's chucking chocolate bars out left, right, and centre, as if for everyone in the room tonight as well. What a lovely man. What a lovely man. Anyway, the way I try to look at it at sometimes, Jack, I mean, you know, you lost your husband far too early, but at least you had a good man or a good woman. So, and them all around. So, thanks, guys, for working on me. And just before you go, D and thing, do either of you, I think it might be, he was a medium too. As I'm trying to break the link and they're both departing, I'm not sure if it's coming in now. Someone just went about Steve or Stephen as well. So if it's not related to you guys, I know I'm going on the thing. Spiritual chocolate, very, very funny, Debs. No calories, we all wish. We all wish. I have dairy milk, one of my favourite, man. That is normal dairy milk or whole nut. One of the best bars of chocolate you can buy. Oh, that's his name. How wonderful. Just as they're leaving, because I always see like a door, not where my door is, but just in here. I see, and they said Steve, as in going, and I'm thinking, now was that you, or was that someone else trying to come in? And that was his name. What a wonderful man, Steve. Well done, Steve. And I'll thank you very much for working with me. I always, maybe I don't say it all the time, but I do appreciate all your loved ones working with me as well. You know, if we're going to be using our Sunday evening here, we want it to be as it should be. So, lovely, lovely man. Your aunt's gone as well. And, yeah, he's out of that chocolate bar. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay. Yeah. Right. I've got a gentleman now that's on about his workshop, and I feel I've got this workshop. And I'm not quite sure if it's the back of the house or he had a separate workshop away from the home. But I know that I've got hammer in the hand. I've got a vice. I'm a tradesman, a gas electrical engineer myself, and I know I've got this vice that's on the table or something, and I'm smashing away. And I feel like at times, you know, when I'm a bit stressed out or I'm getting a bit aggro from the family, I'm out there bashing about stuff, even if stuff didn't need doing, tinkering about. My dad had a workshop in his garage. I had a man with a man cave. Right, let's work this out. There's something to do with the Pink Panther here. I've got a gentleman that's joining me, and it's something to do with the Pink Panther. I feel like I'm snooping about while I'm going on tiptoes through the house, and I don't know what quite he's doing, but yeah, I know there's the workshop involved. I'm banging around with hammers. It's my little man cave. I'm getting away when I'm stressed, or the family are doing me head in, and something to do with like moving about and the Pink Panther. Right, that. Okay, so Maya and Lisa. Do either of you understand the Pink Panther thing or tiptoeing around with this man? I did a lot of tiptoeing. Maya, keep listening, Lisa, but Maya, can I work with you? And we'll see where we're going to go this evening. Okay. So, okay. So you'll understand, gentleman spirits of life that's given me this here now. Is he the gentleman that had the man cave and tiptoeing about? And I know that there's father over there with him as well, if that makes sense. So there must be some sort of, there was a bit of a strange relationship between him and his father. Okay, what's that mean? Oh, I'm missing something this here. We hummed it. Oh, the Pink Panther. That was it, wasn't it? So you used to hum the Pink Paper, right? Do you understand, Maya? Something to do? Yeah. As I'm here now, I know that his father, so his spirit side of life, and I know there was a bit of a strange relationship between the pair of them. I just needed you to confirm that. It didn't feel like it was all tutti frutti or you know, as it is meant to be at times, or not meant to be, as I suppose. Okay. So, so Maya, this is your partner that's spirit side of life. That makes sense. And his father that didn't get on well with. Am I right in saying what I'm doing in now? I'm just trying to get that there now. It was not that easy between them. That's what I totally get. I just know that he's on about this here now. Yeah, what is that? Do you know a Steph or a Stephanie Mayer as well linked? Stephanie, was that what I heard? Steph. Yes, husband, yes, rest of it. Okay. Right, Mayer, let's see where we're going to go in now. I feel quite confused. We understand, like, the feeling before husband passed of, like, what's going on, what's happening, what's going on. I feel like I've got my head in my hands and, like, I'm struggling to comprehend what's going on around the time of passing. Does that make sense? Like confusion or shock that went on quite quickly there. Yes, Steph and Steve. Okay. I know I heard someone said about Steph, so that's perfect. Okay. You understand this going on here now, like holding the head, whatever's going on there now. There's just all this stuff going on now. What's going on? What's happening? Quite quickly, and then that's what it feels like. Okay. Right, I just know that's what your husband's giving me now. Right. I don't know if you can understand this, May, but I was quite ill recently, and I thought I was on my way out. And I think I shared this with you the last time I was on, probably 6 weeks ago. Doctors failed to diagnose it right, and in the end, it was this vagus nerve thing that's actually getting quite well now because it's ongoing. But I feel $1 million compared to what I did. I'm losing my train of thought here. But what your husband's on about is that's it. He said, a wonderful life. Although at the end, you don't want to go. And when I was really ill, you do think things. You think, crikey, am I having a stroke here or what's happening? You know, and I've got no fear of passing to spirit whatsoever. However, you know, I'm quite content in life. I love, you know, what I have in my life. And I love serving as a medium around, you know, much of the UK. And I want it to continue. And I just feel with your husband that this is what happened. It was sort of like he wasn't ready for it. So much more he wanted to do, but obviously then he was. Yeah, thank you very much, Brad. But yeah, by talking, I got given, you know, this guy's details, and he sorted me out. He's a magic man, I've got to say. The guy in Epping, he really has put me back on track. Not fully there yet, but I'm well chuffed. Yeah, we're on good days to say. Yeah. So this is the feeling he's given me, a bit like what I had, but I'm still here. And I know your husband, that's the feeling. But as he looks back on his life, this is what he's trying to get through. Although there was this confusion, scared, apprehension, and everything happening towards the end before he passed. How when he's had a chance to reevaluate his life, he can only describe it as a wonderful life. Many bumps along the road, as we all do, but he's very content with what you had, if that makes sense. Very content. And he just wanted to share that with you. So if it gives you any sort of comfort, Maya, that, them last few days, and any one of our loved ones that we've been with at the end are scared or suffering, that's very, very temporary. And when they cross over, when we all cross over, everything will be fine. It's just that process we're going to go. He had a wonderful life. If he said that to you, I'm just reconfirming what he's told me. Nothing's changed, Maya. He watches you every single day. Okay, and he doesn't like seeing you in your down moments, but he loves it in the up moments. Do you know James or Jimmy? That's linked. James or Jimmy? Someone just shouted that as well. James or Jimmy, Maya. And who's suffering with something to do with one another? Yeah, that's exactly my feelings, James. Yeah, brilliant. Your husband's doing really well, and I feel like that's, I think that's all of us at the end. It's that process of actually transitioning. You look how hectic it is to be born into the world as a child, and all the process for the mother and the child to turn up here. I don't think I'd imagine it's easier, the crossing, but you've still got this process to go through. But he's wonderful. Your husband's wonderful. He's always watching you and always will be. And this is a nice one. I don't really get this. He said, everything we spoke about, everything I said to you, everything you said to me, it all has meaning. It's all still relevant, and it will all be done. Does that make sense, man? Yeah. And he's equally as good for you, spirit side of life. That's his message as well. Everything that you talked about, everything you said, everything still has meaning. Everything's still relevant. Yeah. Anyway, he's happy he's got his voice heard. I'm happy to have worked with you and him. And I'll say God bless Mary and thanks for working with me. And he just says as he's going, I don't know if he meant me or you. I think it's probably both. He went, you did a wonderful job. You did a wonderful job. I'd imagine it's probably for you, Maya. He said you did a wonderful job. Yeah. Thanks, Maya. God bless. And know that all's well, spirit side of life. Yeah. That's not the time already, is it? Have we got enough time for one more, Rob, or is it?
If you've got one, Martin, but we also have Frank's cards coming up, so completely up to you.
All right. Do you know what? I don't keep everyone thinking. Sometimes I wish I could get another one in, but if it's getting to that time, I know we're wrapping up at 8. Guys, I hope that even if you didn't get a message this evening, I say this all the time, it's a bit slower online. I hope that you all got something from it. I always appreciate not just working with you, but all your loved ones. Otherwise, I'll be sitting here like a bit of a turkey, really, not getting stuff. But hopefully, a few of you took away something this evening. And I'll always look forward to the future and working with any of you again, whether it's online or in church. I'm very blessed to do what I do, and we're all blessed because our loved ones truly love us, and they are truly here. Never ever doubt that your loved ones are not around you, because I can assure you they more than are. And with that, I'll hand it over to Frank.
Perfect. Thank you, Martin. Well, we'll come back to you for a closing prayer after Frank's cards. Lovely. All right, friends. Well, what a lovely evening that turned out to be. Great to have Martin with us and those messages, of course. Well, as we say, Frank from our church draws 3 animal cards each week because we can't get around to everyone with messages, unfortunately. But these cards will give you an uplifting thought for the week ahead. So let's see what Frank has for us this week.
Good evening. Our first crystal this evening is citrine, and with that is the card for the calico cat. The calico cat talks of unexpected resources coming your way. A happy change in what you're doing, or maybe a project that will be a resounding success. The cat says sometimes a windfall of abundance just seems to drop from the sky without any warning. Prosperity might come in the form of money or help in hand to complete a project, or maybe by meeting someone who can open doors for you or offer great advice. Calico cats can also indicate new situations, a business venture that may go very well, or a profitable investment. Calicos are seen as a sign of good luck, perhaps because of the genetic rarity of males within the species, which makes them almost as rare as the four-leaf clover. In fact, have you ever seen those little cat figures with their paws waving at you? The little figurine, the beckoning cat, that itself was modelled on the calico and originated in Japan, where they are placed on the doorsteps of homes and businesses to welcome in abundance. So why not place one in your window or doorway and invite them into your life and see if they bring abundance with them. And our second crystal is the rose quartz, and with that goes the card for the reindeer or caribou. This card says it is now time for success through taking action and grabbing opportunities and blessings and making forward movement into new directions. The reindeer says that your life is about to start moving forward. Progress can come hurtling in after times of inaction or boredom. And this card says once it does, you can expect things to move very fast. Traditionally associated with Santa Claus, who brings wonderful gifts, reindeer is a sign of prosperity and a change in a positive direction. This card indicates that amazing new opportunities may be heading your way. Other possibilities may include a relocation of home or business or leisure project, or even just acquiring a new form of transportation, hence the wheel also being on this card. Reindeer and caribou are largely the same animal. The primary difference is domestication. Caribou are found in the wild and are somewhat larger, while the smaller reindeer tends to be raised in herds and are even kept as pets. These remarkable animals are known for being able to cover large distances during migration. They can move very fast, going from a standstill to great speed in the blink of an eye. They're adaptable, clever, and able to survive, even in the most challenging conditions. The reindeer says, you too have these gifts now. So use your reindeer and its energy to move forward with your plans, and success will surely be yours. And our third crystal is the amethyst. And with that goes the card for the Gypsy Vena horse. The horse says this is a very successful time for you, and your prospects are excellent. It says everything is going to turn out perfectly, and you couldn't ask for a better time. Projects will be a great success, and exciting new possibilities may come your way. You may have the chance to work for someone outstanding, or alternatively, this may be your time to consider retiring. The horse asks you use your money and resources that come your way wisely by investing or saving. Above all, it says make sure you stand up for what you know is right. The gypsy horse symbolises a person who is compassionate, charismatic, but grounded. He is a businessman who also cares deeply for his own causes and views, which are often maybe about kindness to animals and those around him. And because of this, he works hard for them. The Gypsy Vena is also known for its beauty, sweetness and strength. As one of the smallest of the draft horse breeds, they represented the ability to accomplish your mission, no matter what your size or strength may be. A gypsy horse is a palomino, a horse with light golden coat, which says the person who has chosen this has a heart of gold and attracts riches and abundance. It says likewise you are currently in a time of great prosperity. It says and asks that you use the blessings that heaven are sending you at this time to do great things, both for yourself, the planet, and all those around you. Three lovely cards. They're all talking about great prosperity and success, which, what better could you ask for? Thank you for listening.
Lovely, thank you, Frank. All right, well, if it was your birthday online this week, happy birthday. Thank you for sharing it with us here online. Let's bring the service to a close now. We'll go back to Martin for a closing prayer, and then we'll play the closing Vesper as usual. Thanks, Martin.
Hi guys, it's been my pleasure to join you this evening. Very blessed to work with you and your loved ones. If you'd like to join me in the closing prayer. Divine Spirit, Father God, we give thanks for this evening, for the love and the memories shared, knowing that all our loved ones are a mere thought away, wishing us and egging us on at all times to do our best in life, because if we try our best, nothing more can be asked. And with the coming week upon us, can we all be kind to ourselves and others when we get the opportunity, for the spirit world and our loved ones are watching always. Until next time, good night, God bless. Amen.
well, a very big thank you to Martin for tonight's service. I know those messages meant a lot to people this evening. So thank you for joining us, Martin, a good friend of the church. Thank you also to Lainey Bain, our medium in church tonight. Hope you had a good time in church and had an enjoyable evening there. Thank you to Donna for chairing in church tonight. Thank you to Peter for the Bible reading. And thank you to Frank for the cards at the end there. Hope everyone online has a wonderful week ahead. Enjoy your birthday, if it's your birthday, Jacqueline and others. And hope you can join us again next week, next Sunday at 6:30. Until then, take care. Good night.